Welcome back to another episode of Pablo and Kids. I'm Kangye, your fact master, and today let's talk about Greeks. Greeks are an ancient type of people that are there today. Now, what happened with Greek people is quite a long history and starts from their mythology, where they thought that they came from a god known as Kronos. Now, Kronos was a type of god who thought that in a prophecy that his children would take over, his children known as Zeus and all those famous gods. So in the mythology, it said that Kronos had eaten every single one of his children so that they wouldn't come and take over the throne for him. Except one day, his wife took the baby Zeus, and instead of giving the baby to Kronos, she instead wrapped a stone in swaddling clothes. After that, he had a really upset stomach, and then he threw out all of the kids that he had swallowed. Eventually, when they got older, they took over him, and they eventually became the gods that are famously known as the Olympians. Now, three main Olympians are the people that rule the three vast ones of the sea, as said in the mythology. There is Poseidon, there is Zeus, and there is also Hades. Now, all of these were something that they believed because they didn't really have the right judgment, and were oftenly passed as stories, eventually turned into beliefs. Now, Greeks had a good, prospering country until they decided that they wanted to be the top dogs. Now, there were different parts of Greece. There were the Greek people. There were the Greek people who also had different tribes and different type of cities. Now, there were two famous ones: the Athenians and the Spartans. Now, Spartans were very ruthless people. They had laws known as the laws of Draco. Now, Draco was a ruler and a king in Sparta and had very, very strict rules. It was almost the type that stealing a cabbage could almost cost you your life. The Spartans also made the children owned by the Spartan government. So if you are a parent and you gave birth to your child, it wasn't really yours, it was for the government. So the Spartans eventually taught their children how to be warriors. Once you were given into and you became a pack of children who were monitored by one old person who was to train them, and as they grew, and the strongest of the children was known as the leader. Now, the children had a very rough life. Let's say that a Spartan child was a bit cold on a winter night. He was supposed to put thorns in his bed to feel the warmth of the prickling, so that it would take out the cold and instead feel pain. And it was kind of weird because that's what would happen for all of them. They would also tell the children to fight most of the time, and that would make sure that they know who the strongest is, and then he can be the leader, and he can even torch all the other kids as much as he wants. Basically, he would become like the king of the pack. There were also stories of children that were in Sparta to show the children that you need to be smart, but you also need to be strong. Now, one such story is the one of a boy and a fox. Now, the boy saw a fox cub and it was really interesting to him, so he decided, I am going to take this from someone, and I won't really ask for it. I'll just steal it. So when they saw him and they said that this boy had taken the fox cub, what he did is hid it in his robe. Now, it might sound kind of gruesome, but as he was telling the lies and as he was getting flogged for taking the fox that he said he did not take, the fox had already eaten into his body, and he stood strong and eventually passed out. And it was on that spot that they were like, this boy was quite brave, and he should be a sign of strength, but also to show you, the Spartan children, that if you're going to be a thief, you shouldn't really give much into yourself. But even if it costs you your life, you should really just take it in. Now, on the other side were the Athenians. They were really posh people, and Athens was a city in Greece, and that was for their goddess of war, who was known as Athena. Now, the Athenians and the Spartans, they all wanted a certain part of Greece, and that started, and even the Trojans, that started a certain war between them, known as the Trojan War. There was a famous poem that was written by. Now, there was a poem written about these wars, but instead of actually bringing what was actually happening, it was a fable of some sort, known as mythology. Now, in this, there was a warrior known as Achilles. Now, the story of Achilles was quite funny because When he was a child, his mother dipped him into a river that almost gave him immunity to any type of attack. What was the wrong thing was she was holding him by his heels when he was a baby, therefore bringing the term known as an Achilles heel. Now, how he was taking him down in the war was they shot an arrow directly at his heel, and that's quite okay, and that would be quite funny because how would you die by being hit with an arrow in the heel? Now, when it comes to the actual real war, it was because the Trojans wanted the city for themselves, so they invented a type of trick. Now, these Trojans who are inside the city didn't really have what it took to use brain power. Now, the trick that was brought to Troy was that they got a wooden horse, and many people know this story. They got a horse that was known as the Trojan horse. It was a really big horse, almost the size of a statue. So they decided that let's get into this statue and hide inside. It was made of wood. So the people in Troy decided that let's take this as a statue and put it into the center of the city because it's a really nice gift from them. At night, they had come out of the Trojan horse and taken over the city while everyone was sleeping. Now, most people know that story, but they don't know that this happened a second time. When there was a Greek general, he had seen a certain poor man coming to steal their food from Troy. He was in luxurious clothes, but they were dirty, meaning that he had probably fled his own city to come and get food from the people who were trying to fight it. Even in that city, it was said that their king was giving them very small rations, and that's why he had to escape. So after that, they had told him, "What if we recruit you so that you can get us into Troy and we take over it again?" So instead, he was just like, I need the food, I need all of this. And they gave him a place to stay, a place to live, and even his own life when they were taking over Troy. So what he had done is that he got onto a horse and came with a bunch of soldiers from the same Greek general that had hired him. They got into the horse and they wore old rags to make them look like they were actually poor people when they had their armor and shields and also swords inside there, and he said that I have come with us. Okay, I have come with the travelers who may need a place to stay, some water and food. They asked him for the password and he did give it the password because in those days they didn't really accept anyone unless they knew the password to the city. Once he entered, they slit the throats of the guards that were actually there to give more way for the soldiers to come in. He went with the horse, and then they had taken over the city a second time by a horse that was indirectly the second Trojan horse. When it came to beliefs, Greeks were what you'd call kind of weird. Now, what they had thought when a ghost was buried is that when a ghost was put into ashes, is that you should actually put the ashes into a jar and leave a small hole so that the ghost can leave and not disturb you. And it would actually be weird if you didn't put the hole in, because then you'd probably hear your dead grandma talking to another dead grandma on the same shelf.
The 7th edition of the Lighthouse East Africa Junior Championship was successfully held in Kenya's coastal city of Mombasa. Uganda had a great representation of junior players from 3 different clubs: Lighthouse Uganda, Great Thinkers Chess Academy, and KTLC. In total, Uganda registered as 11 medals. Lighthouse Uganda Chess Club medalists included Tyler Atubet, Aine Atubet, Tandeka Shilo, and Jethro Maweje. Great Thinkers had Caroline Mirembe, Manzi Munyake, Ruth Thelema, Lukanga Mungazi, Esa Shontel, Juliana Wanyama, and Prince Dave Amoriat. KTLC had a gold medal in under 14 for Ronald Wabire. Victoria Chess Club from Kisumu, Kenya was overall at this tournament. They were followed by Lighthouse Uganda and another Ugandan side. Great Thinkers Chess Academy followed suit. His Excellency Ambassador Paul Bukamba, the Consul General of Uganda in Mombasa, was the chief guest at this tournament organized by Lighthouse Chess Club Mombasa. The wait was finally over for thousands of primary leaving examination candidates. Parents and schools across the world, after the Uganda National Examinations Board released the 2024 PLE results. There was a lot of celebrations in different schools that had performed well. We captured some of the interesting moments.
You must have this.
Research.
Wow.
Wow.
Even this one, by the way.
Hey, who's this one?
This is
Thank you, Lord. This is Kangye Junior School, Mkono. Please bring more children. Congratulations to all those that passed their examination. We would like to also encourage teachers, parents, and guardians of the children that did not perform to their expectation not to harass the kids but give them another chance. Young rapper Fresh Kid, whose real name is Patrick Senyongo, passed his primary living examinations in first grade, scoring 11 aggregates.
Took a deep breath, got to my phone, and I pressed out like, nah. I put in someone else's index for the results. So 3. Then some friend of mine called me, like the one who I really trust.
Yeah.
Like your G.
Yeah, like my close G, man. Guy was like, yo. And I was like, what's up? The guy said, guy, man, the results are out. I've checked mine. I was like, how many did you get? He told me 13. And like, I was like, isn't 13 a first grade? Because like that's what they had told us. So like 13 is a first grade, like, and like, nah, 13 ain't no first grade. It's a second grade. I'm like, ashed. So I got like, what's your index? I'm gonna check for you. I'm like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I trust this guy. Let me just tell him. So I told him my index, blah 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 blah. He checked. So I was waiting patiently, man. I was there
For him to
to
give you
call me
feedback.
back, to call me back. So when I was there, doing the middle there, some guy was like, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah. And then some guy else called me, like, yo, so there was some girl or some friend of mine, like, she used to be, like, very smart, and, like, guy called me, like, yo, do you know what this girl got? And, like, they're, like, 11, and, like, damn. It's, like, not bad, but, like, for her, I expected, like, 4 or some. I'm like,
4 or 5.
4 or something like that, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, we aren't safe. And then my bro called me.
The
So
guy got back to you.
so as soon as the guy called me, some friends of mine were there, like, bros, let me come. Jumped up and then I was there, like, okay.
Like you hid.
Yeah, like, okay, let me pick up. Picked up. And my guy like, yo, I've checked your results. And I'm like, okay, how many do I have? Guy like, 11. So I was in like mixed feelings. I'm like, should I be happy about this? Is this good enough? Or like, this isn't good enough? So me, I wouldn't say like I was like genuinely happy. I jumped, what. But in my mind, I wasn't annoyed
So,
because
I want to understand one thing. Were the papers so hard, or you just scared? Were the papers so hard? The papers were you not
even if you know that you did well,
Yeah.
that pressure is just natural pressure. So, and then I was there. So my father came. He was like, okay, let's go to the school. You guys are waiting. Like the media personnel. And like, okay. They are waiting.
And you know that makes it more scary.
Yeah.
So like,
there's too much pressure.
I like,
there.
so if they are waiting, do you know how much I got? And like, yeah, like I don't know how many. I told him 11. But like, yeah, it's kawa. It's
Yeah,
kawa.
that's okay.
Good.
You have
It's
some,
good.
you didn't get second grade, you got first grade, and like some people weren't able to attain that. Some of your friends, so like just dress up and we shoot, and then we shot to the school. Yeah, bro, I didn't expect the kind of vibe I found there. Niggas were lifting me, and then people were saying, "Yo, congratulations!"
Yeah.
Some people I don't even know were congratulating
Lots of cameras.
me. Yeah, everyone was just saying the word congratulations.
Yeah.
And I looked at some people that I would see every day when I come to school.
Yeah.
These attendance people that I would like take attendance books to. They were all saying one word. I'm like, hey, okay,
but you did
Yeah, you
well.
did well.
He completed in a cheerful statement. Fresh Kid thanked his sponsor, businessman Sudaru Parela, fans and followers supporting him.
Sponsor banga Dr. Studio ne Dr. Ali bebaza nnyo beera no bambereddewo nnyo beera no bampeerera okuba wennagira wano paka wentuuse nga buli kimu bakiclearinga like n'ebintu nga tubikwata ku ssomero like maybe trips oba biki nga omuntu gwa balina beclearingira nga bo baclearinga bebaza nnyo okubeera nti nebambereddewo era sibaleeteze ddawo.
As Fresh Kid embarks on his next chapter of education, he continues to inspire young Ugandans, proving that with talent, dedication, and support, anything is possible.